You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pets Mean Business on the lovely, amazing Pet Life Radio. I'm Jamie Migdal, your benevolent host, your kind host, the host who welcomes you to this next half hour of talking about stuff as it relates to entrepreneurship, as it relates to innovation, passion, expertise, all of the things that go into creating a business that is meaningful. And in this case, we're talking about creating businesses that are meaningful in the $60 billion pet industry. Oh my gosh. Every time I say that, I always think, did I say billion or million? Because it's crazy that it's billion. And there's space. There's room. We're just growing and growing and growing. It just doesn't stop. There's no stop and end. There's no end in sight is my point. There's no end in sight. Every day I hear of a new company, a new product, a new concept. People are doing amazing things, amazing people, innovating, conceptualizing, collaborating, everything that makes this industry so special. I've been in the pet industry for 20 some years at this point, and every day, at one point in the day, I am brought to chills, tears, mouth agape, what have you, about what someone's doing. I had breakfast this morning with a friend of mine who owns this amazing dog walking company in Chicago, very successful, very well known, just this incredibly smart person. And she made me cry at breakfast today because she was talking about what she wanted to do with her company and where she wanted to bring it, and thought of these things, that just the changes that she wants to bring to our industry and dog walking in our city of Chicago, just very cool stuff all the time. And, so that's the whole point of the show, just cool people, cool things, entrepreneur to entrepreneur. And my goal is to inspire you, to help you see something in yourself, something great in yourself that perhaps you need a little bit of a push to take a chance, or perhaps you need to reach out to somebody who could be of great assistance to you. I am always here for you. You can always email me, text me, call me, smoke signal, Twitter, what have you, Jamie@PetLifeRadio.com. Anything you want, really, anything you need, of course, within reason. And I'm happy to help you realize your dreams as it relates to working in the pet industry. And it's a brilliant industry to be a part of, so I highly recommend it. So if you're sitting there right now thinking, that kind of sounds interesting. I've got this idea. I've got this kernel of an idea. I think maybe I might want to do something with it. How do I figure out whether this is going to be something I can make money on? Is this something that people will be interested in? Let me tell you, today's guest, she is a great example of this. She is a great example of someone who probably had that exact same thought, which we'll find out. And I have her as a guest today because she is an example of how you can innovate within the pet industry and create things for people that they don't even know they need, which is the amazing part. And then once they have it, they think, how did I live without this? So my guest today, who we will meet after the break, her name is Lisa Hennessey, and she's the owner and the creator of Your Pet Chef. Okay, so Your Pet Chef, she makes personalized dog food using all human-grade ingredients delivered directly to her client's home in these pre-packaged portions. So think about this, and you will learn about her after the break. She decided that she had this desire, and she had a reason in her life. Her dog was diagnosed with an illness, and her veterinarian said, do you think that you might be interested in making a special diet? She did, and the rest is history. So it's amazing how people come to this industry. They come to it via so many different channels. Lisa's story is awesome. I can't wait for her to share it with us. We will meet Lisa and talk all about dog food, dog stuff after the break. You're here listening to Pet Life Radio. This is Pets Mean Business. I'm Jamie Migdal. We'll be right back.
People say less is more. At Red Barn, we think less is better. It's what you won't find that sets our natural premium pet food apart. No byproducts, no corn or soy, no fillers. Just the natural ingredients your pets need to live the healthy life they deserve. Look at the label. We want you to. Red Barn Naturals Pet Food. Simply the best. Find it in your local pet specialty store. Try our chicken rolled food as a meal or shredded as a topper.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Okay, everybody, we're back. Hi, welcome back to Pets Mean Business on Pet Life Radio. I'm Jamie Migdal, your host. Happy to have you here. If you were listening at the top of the show, then you know we're talking about food, dog food, not just any dog food, but custom-made, human-grade, quality, to-your-door delivery food. My guest today is the person who's doing all of that. Please, everybody, please welcome. Put your paws together for, I said that, put your paws together for Lisa Hennessey. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Jamie. How are you today? I love put your paws together. That's awesome.
You know what? I actually, and if any of my dear friends and colleagues are listening, they're going to be rolling their eyes because I really do not like pet puns as it comes to this stuff. But I think that it works sometimes. You have to just go with it.
Yes, exactly. You do. I know. I do the same thing, and my food helper rolls her eyes at me, too, and tells me I've gone to the dark side. And I'm like, that's okay. The dark side's fun sometimes.
You've gone to the fur side. Oh my God, we're stopping. We're stopping it right now. No more.
You got to stop.
Oh my
no more.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. All right, so we have to promise each other for our conversation, you and me, we are going to do no more. No more pet puns. Are we in agreement?
No more.
Right,
I'm done. I'm good. Yes.
So. Hi, Lee. So listen, before we really dive deep into you and what you're doing and creating and sharing all of your stories and inspiring folks with it, let me just make sure we get out your website and your Twitter handle. So for everyone who's at home or wherever you are listening and you have an access to the interwebs, you can check this out. Lisa, I will let you do the honors, please. Your website.
Okay, great. Website is yourpetchef.com, and our Twitter handle is @yourpetchef. It's all pretty straightforward, yourpetchef.com. It's got all of our information, and Twitter, we just kind of share different helpful hints, fun facts, kind of try to make the day a little bit brighter and lighter.
How often do you use social media?
Well, I go through spurts, and that's, an entrepreneurial problem. So some weeks I would say I, maybe post once or twice a day, and then there's other weeks where I don't post at all. And I know that's bad, but sometimes you just,
Come on. You're breaking the first rule of entrepreneurship, especially on my show.
I know.
No judgment. No self-negative judgment. I mean, no. This is not bad. This is not bad. This is where you're at. This is your journey.
Right. And I mean, yes, it is part of the journey. And, sometimes there just isn't time to go through it all and figure out, this is a great tip. It's funny. I was at a conference today that was like a networking conference, and I found that any person I met, I gave a tip to. And I'm like, you know what? I'm meeting strangers. And a person came up to me and said, oh my God, you make pet food? My dog is really anxious. And I said, you know what's great for an anxious dog? Higher levels of magnesium in their food, sheep's milk yogurt, banana, spinach. And they looked at me, a crowd kind of gathered. They're like, what is she talking about? She's like, keeping my anxious dog calm. So, I mean, that's the stuff I need to post, but I just kind of share it with people and then I move on. So,
well, I think, and that is, what, I totally get what you said, where you said, oh, that's so bad. But actually what it is, it's not bad because you have the entrepreneurial disease where it's so much better to live it live than to have to do it in a, and that's the thing. Like that's where you get, it's like you get high on being in front of people, sharing your passion and being and being useful. I mean, it's all about being useful. I mean, I think that the pet industry, I think people in the pet industry and yourself included, listen, we are in the business to serve. I mean, we are in the business to serve. We serve people, and we do that through their pets. And I think in your specific line of work, I mean, that's really serving people through their pets. So how did you, all right, so I mentioned in the intro, that you got into this via a personal experience with your own dog. So, and that was a rough So by the way, P.S., I have to just do a quick sideline here. You are a collie person?
Yes, I know you are too. Yes, I'm a collie person.
Did we ever connect
on this? It's been a long time.
Did we ever connect on this?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm a collie person too. Yeah, I have collies.
Can we just have a moment?
Collie.
Can we have a moment real quickly? Let's just have okay, I know we're not near each other, but can we have a hand holding collie moment?
Yes.
Do you just love that breed so much?
Yes, so much. They're just my ultimate favorite. We lost our old guy, our senior citizen, Gilmore, almost made it to 13. And he was a belly here to the ground collie, that kind of super duper furry collie. And our boy we have now has smooth parents, and so he's not as full coated. And it's like I miss that big poofy boy. Like I miss the big poofiness. Like I'm sure if people saw my 2-year-old, they'd be like, "That's not enough hair for you." But it's like, I mean, I'm just used to, you're used to that lion kind of, like that's how much coat he had. And boy, I miss that. But
how did you get into collies? How did you find your breed?
Here's the cliche. 4 years old in preschool.
No.
And I played Lassie.
No.
So I played Lassie, and my mother would be so mad because all of my pants had like holes in the knees because I would just like walk on all fours. So she never allowed us to have a pet. We were never allowed when we were growing up because she was not a pet person. The closest I got was like a stuffed animal, Lassie. And when I got an apartment when I was like 27, and I could have a collie. And that's when I got my first collie, Chauncey. And I've had him ever since.
All right, and
that's why I started doing food, because our collie Shelby was diagnosed with degenerative myelopathy, which is actually pretty rare for collies. And it just kind of means they can't hold up their back end anymore. The nerve endings degenerate, and they're not in pain. They just can't walk, which, stinks. So this diet, it's very depressing, and because, she was young. She was only 8, and she couldn't move. And so like a research veterinarian had come up with a special diet that the ingredients would help slow the progression of the disease. And so I said, yeah, I'll do it. Now, I'm from the south side of Chicago. So, we're Irish Catholics. We have a big family. This recipe had tofu in it. I didn't even know where to buy tofu. I'm like, what is it? What do you do? I had to Google, like, I came in a package. I'm like, what do you do? It's like swill in a package. Like, what is this?
What is this hippie food? What is this gross hippie food?
What?
This is
gross, like, right.
This is North Sider food. We don't do this down here.
Right, we don't do this. Like, what are you talking about, right? And it was like a big thing of spinach. It was, and I'm like, there's no way she's going to eat this. Oh my God, she gobbled it up.
Wow.
And we're like, oh, okay, great. So it did help her for a while. And she ate like a queen. She was a fairy princess. Boy, she was living large. And, when we did, you do acupuncture, all those things to try to help. We'd walk and swim and, did as much as you could to have her have a good quality of life. And then, the other dogs were like, what do we, chop liver? So I started, I talked to my vet and said, well, I should make food for them too. They kind of feel left out. So I started doing that. And I would make food for them like once a month and fill up. We got an extra food freezer and fill up the freezer. And we kind of knew it would be a good idea. But, when you work full-time, who works full-time, 60, 70 hours a week, you can't really, it's very hard to start a business. So I am inherently lazy. So I always made the food by portion. So we had containers. You could take out a container, defrost it, and serve it. So anything to make it easy in the morning, when you get up, you can go. Feed them, go. So that's the kind of a concept I took when I decided to launch Your Pet Chef. I lost my job. I was a general manager, and my job was eliminated. And we said, you know what? Now's a good time. Let's give it a try.
What year was that?
Was 3 years ago.
That was
2012.
So there's a saying, and I'm not a religious person. I am a spiritual person, but I wouldn't call myself religious. But there is a saying that I love, and I'm sure you've heard it before, especially as it relates to your story, which is God will do for you what you can't do for yourself. Right? Have you heard that before? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so take the God out of that and just call it the universe or the guiding light or the rock on the street, whatever your thing is. But it's interesting. Yeah. You're a natural entrepreneur, and you needed to be put in a position where you were able to exercise those muscles. And I find that my favorite entrepreneurs and my favorite passionate people are the ones that come at it from this angle of just coming at it really not on purpose, just falling into it, and then all of a sudden they're there, and it's like this magic happens. So it's really cool that this is your story. All right, so listen, we have a lot to talk about, and I want to dive a lot deeper. We're going to take a quick break, Lisa, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about you and more about how it is that you market your business and what some of the pain points are, and maybe we can have a conversation about, what the best advice you got around that stuff. We'll figure it out. We'll see where we go. I have a feeling it's going to be all awesome. All right, guys, so we're going to be back with Lisa Hennessey right after the break. Go check out yourpetchef.com. In the meantime, I'm Jamie Migdal, your host, When Pets Mean Business. We'll be right back after this break.
It's designerpetsweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit designerpetsweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. designerpetsweaters.com.
Calling all pet product manufacturers and pet experts. Let the public relations and marketing professionals at Whitegate PR get you featured in the news. I'm Dana Humphrey at Whitegate PR, and we have been specializing in pet product PR for over 10 years and can get your brand featured in the media, from TV to radio to print to blogs. You can find out more at www.whitegatepr.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
We're back, everybody, with Lisa Hennessey, my colleague.
Hi, yeah.
My colleague. You're like what do we call each other? Like colleague cousins? You're like the...
Sure, that sounds good, but we said we weren't going to do puns, but that's okay.
Okay, well, that's not really
colleague
a pun.
cousins is good.
Yeah, that's just like it just rolls off your tongue. On break, Lisa and I were... it really does. On break, Lisa and I were just diving into... We couldn't help it. We went on break, and the second we did, we just got into collie talk. And listen, I'll tell you, this is my first time. Lisa, I didn't share this. I've had dogs, as you can imagine, for 25 years. Many dogs, many dogs. That's a different show, a different time, a different topic. But this is my first purebred dog. I've never had a purebred. I've always had mixed breeds.
Okay.
So I feel like so elitist now. I have like purebreds.
Do you?
I do. I feel very elitist.
Here's what's funny. I have a rescue because I felt guilty only having purebred.
Oh.
So I adopted, she actually kind of looks like a collie. She's kind of like a lab and a golden together, but I think I was attracted to her because she looks like a collie. Mm-hmm. And she's afraid of life. And so I was like, well, she came into my life to teach me.
Lisa, or life? She's afraid of life?
Life, L-I-F-E.
Oh, okay.
But everything life has to bring, Lucy's afraid of. So we do agility, we do all kinds of things. She's much better, but she came into my life to teach me a whole separate set of skills to work with dogs. Because collies, I mean, I don't know, they're all pretty laid back, easygoing, like everybody. And I never had a dog that wasn't like that. It's hard. It was hard.
It's a real eye-opener. It's a real eye-opener when you realize you come from an easy dog life or an easy dog background. You walk around assuming that this is just everyone's experience to some degree. They are. Right? Yeah, there's kind of like, this is how it is to have a dog, and you expect everyone to have a similar type of experience. And then you get a dog that's a challenge, and you realize how hard it is for people. And you realize that people's really, I will say, and I don't feel bad about saying this, people suffer for their dogs. They suffer, like deeply suffer.
They do. Well, it's interesting. I see that with my food because
that's what I was going to ask. Like, I was just going to say, you must see that. Tell me. Yeah. I mean, please go down that path. I want to hear that.
So many people, really, anytime you talk about dogs, for the most part, most of my conversations go to poop. Okay, that's just the way it goes. It's dog people. Everybody talks about poop.
We do.
So you have a dog that doesn't really, have really good poops. It's upsetting, not only to the dog, but to the owner. And I've had 2 or 3 different customers that, for the lifespan of their dog, they never really had, good poop. They ate my food, and now I get hugged when I do deliveries. They're like, oh my God, he feels so much better. Everything's good. It's wonderful. I mean, because it's such a stress relief that now your dog feels better. Same with, allergies or a hot spot. You see your dog, licking like crazy or itching like crazy, and then they don't, and you feel a relief from that. That's so rewarding for me. When I started Your Pet Chef, I said I wanted to do deliveries because I felt it was the right thing to do. It was kind of like a service that people would, I thought, expect. And then I thought, well, I'll use it for feedback. Every time I go, I'll say, what can I do that's better? What did you like? What didn't you like? Maybe what flavors did the dog not like? And I thought it's a great way to get feedback. Oh my gosh, it's been incredible because I get to see the transformation in the dog and I get that firsthand feedback. It's been fantastic.
What kind of transformations what do you see? Give me an example of something you see.
Whiter teeth, leaner body, softer coats, shiny coats, leaned up. Some, we would like to say they're overenjoyed. They overenjoy their food. So you have like a plump pup, let's say, and they lean up and they're not hungry. Some dogs are always going to be hungry, a beagle, a lab. But they're not starving by a lab or a beagle, though he's hungry 24/7. But, the food fills them up, but not with empty calories. They're really eating good quality food.
Wait, I have a question before we go further. Has this changed? Have you noticed that this has changed your clients' eating habits? Has anyone ever reported to you that since they started providing their dogs such a high-quality diet that they've been influenced or they've been motivated to do that for themselves?
Yes. A lot of them have. But it usually comes the other way around. It's usually people who know that, they eat really well and they want their dogs to eat the same way. But there are a lot of people that definitely start to eat better because they see what the dogs eat. I get emails from people that say, my dog eats better than all of us. Yeah, and so we know we need to eat better now, right? I mean, I had one dog that, she's, got a lot of energy. She's a young dog. And so we feed her extra calories. And her mom emailed me and was like, I just think, we cook her sweet potatoes for a treat. I mean, seriously, the dog eats like a princess. And she's like, now I'm starting to do that for myself. I'm starting to do it for my kids. Wow. Like make healthier snacks. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's really changing people's lives.
Yeah,
changing people's lives.
Yes, and it was nothing I ever had imagined when we started it. It's so rewarding. Some days, like you think, oh man, I got to go and do all these deliveries, but it's so fun to see everybody, and it's fun. I mean, I love seeing the dogs.
Well, here, listen, this leads me to a whole other set of questions, and my mind just went in a whole different direction as it relates to you and your company and what you're doing. So you're doing the deliveries by yourself. So you're going out. Do you do this every day? Is it certain food day delivery days? How do you structure your life?
My life is structured that Mondays through like Thursday, let's say, we make food. Okay. And then Thursday-ish, Friday and Saturday, I do deliveries. So I do have my food helper will help me do delivery. But there's, I have a lot of people that I see we do them kind of every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks. And
how do people find out about you? How are these folks finding out about you?
A lot of people, I would say, I go to local trade shows. People kind of Google healthy dog food, and I get inquiries from across the country. I do ship. I do have customers across the United States. A lot of referrals. And I'm finding in the last several months, a lot of people kind of just do like a local search. And so they're finding I want to find someone within 5 miles of me. And I've been getting a lot of calls. So it's just kind of referrals are probably the biggest one because, if someone, sees a difference in their dog and then they tell their neighbor, they tell their sister, they tell their friend. And I've also been working with several of the breed rescue groups. Okay. And that's been crazy.
That's really smart.
The King Charles Cavalier Spaniel, I think I feed like 15 or 20 of them.
So do you ever reach a point where you can't, are you, as you look down the future, and you look at the future roadmap of your company and you think about what you're doing now and how you're doing it operationally, is there a point that you have to change your model? Do you see that coming, or have you already solved for that problem?
I know when I reach a certain customer point that I would have to find a place. Here's where I'm different. My background is in purchasing, operations, and manufacturing. So I'm a process person, and everything that I created for this is scalable. So
Right.
if I got an order for 500 of something, I'd be able to ramp that up really quickly. Sales and marketing is where I struggle because that was always, kind of in the traditional corporate environment, that was kind of always like your arch rival. So, believe me, more than one time I said, how hard could it be? This stuff sells itself. Ooh, I eat those words, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's really hard. And so that's where that's where I kind of maybe question myself, should I do this? I'm not really sure. And then I just say, well, I'm going to go for it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I learn from it and we move on to the next thing. So I'm always willing to kind of try.
You said you went to a conference today. You were at a business conference,
Yeah.
So do you go to those places to help you fill in some of those gaps that you're talking about? What is your goal when you go to when you go to a business conference or a workshop or something?
It was twofold. One of them was to network, to just kind of see who I could meet, who might be able to help me, I might be able to help them. And the second is I'm always looking for a good idea. I'm always looking for, well, maybe that'll help me. And to the full disclosure, Bill Rancic was there today, and one of my goals today was to hand him my business card. And that didn't work because I was networking, talking to a guy who is a major distributor of pet products into Kmart, Walmart, Walgreens, and CVS.
Oh, well, that's a good conversation.
Right. So I figured it was okay that Bill Rancic ran this back because I was like, well, okay, I'm talking to this guy and he might be able to really help me out more. So, I met all kinds of people today. I'm not, I'm not shy. I'll go up and talk to anybody. And I'm always kind of the nerd with, I always have my logo shirt on so everyone knows I'm Your Pet Chef. And people come up and say, oh, you're Your Pet Chef. Yeah, I am. You're supposed to do that, right? Isn't that marketing 101?
Yeah, I was going to say, for someone who is a self-professed, not a non-marketing mind, I think that's your number one. I love when I love when I see business owners wearing their garb. I'll tell you, in Chicago where we live, I don't know if you know this, but the CEO of Match.com lives in Chicago. And is actually a neighbor of mine, lives in the same neighborhood in Chicago, not an actual neighbor because obviously his house is much nicer than mine. But but the point is that I've run into him several times, Walgreens, playgrounds with his kids, my kids, and he's always wearing, he's the founder of OkCupid, but now he's the CEO of Match.com. He is always wearing OkCupid t-shirts and hats. This man is uber successful and very, as I would assume, very, very wealthy. And I've never, ever seen him anywhere. And we also work together at the incubator here in Chicago, 1871. He has an office there. So I've seen him around for a long time. I've never seen this man not wearing logo wear. At that level, he still sports logo wear. And I just feel like that is just what a very thoughtful thing to do as a business owner, to always be just proud of your logo and proud of your business and putting it out there. So I give you a lot of kudos to you, lady. Well,
thanks.
Truly, kudos to you.
I am proud of it. I'm proud of, how we came up with the name. It's very inclusive. It says what we do. And it also allows that we started with dogs because dogs are easy to please for the most part. We can always expand to cats. We can expand to, I've had people say, can you make food for my ferret? I actually made treats for an African gray parrot last week.
Cool.
So, the possibilities are endless, but, cats are a little more difficult just because they're a little more finicky. So I've got a few test kitchen recipes with some kitties that are, I feed their dogs and just to see if they like them. They're just a little more finicky. So we haven't launched kitty food yet.
I would imagine that any cat, I think cats are probably like raising their hands, raising their paws. I'll be your test case.
Right.
So throw some meat my way. I'm happy. Well, speaking of, I would imagine, speaking of like scaling your business and doing things and being innovative, which is all part of being in this space or any space, what are some things, I feel like I have some idea and I've heard a little bit that you have some things coming up that you're working on. Can you share that stuff?
Yes, we've got a couple things which are kind of fun. We just launched a new line of treats, and I was really reluctant to launch treats because I think a lot of people do treats. So what we did that was different was it's really our food recipes. So it's not really a wasted calorie. It's actually nutritional. And they just come in a smaller package, and we dehydrate them. So I probably have ADD, I would imagine. So I always have to amuse myself and come up with fun names. So like right now we're doing summer barbecue inspired flavors. So we have like cheeseburger, hot dog with garden relish, and hash brown casserole with chicken. So just kind of try to make it fun and interesting. They smell good. They smell like food, not like dog treats. We also are working with one local restaurant, and hopefully more, to create a menu for dogs when they come in. So when their owners come in and order, a cocktail and some appetizers, the dog can also order some food. We've got, snout. Yeah. I mean, we've got like snout full of sundae, meatball surprise. Just kind of, another one. Get me some gratin.
What was the last one?
Get me some gratin, like gratin, like all gratin, but it's gratin.
I got it. That's awesome. Let's talk about puns.
Like I said, I'm using myself. Yeah. Well, I mean, if people think it's all really funny. I mean, sometimes I'm rolling my eyes and people are cracking up. I'm like, okay, I'll go with it. It's fine. So we're working with that. We're giving him some samples to see what he likes. And we also have it's kind of funny. Non-dog people roll their eyes at me. A hot lunch program. So there's a lot of doggy daycares.
Right.
And we have hot lunches. So a lot of them are based off of regular meat meals. So like we have beef stew or chicken pot pie, pork chops and applesauce for those Brady Bunch fans. So they're just kind of our food that it's like a treat, but it doesn't have all of our extra nutritional values. So it's really kind of a snack.
I was going to say, it's more like I think it's more of like it seems like more of a luxury add-on for those folks. Yeah.
Right. And the beauty of this is the places that do boarding, a lot of times if a dog is in boarding, they might get nervous or anxious and they might, want to go back to poop, not have good poop.
Right.
So one of the big places out south, Positively Heaven, she would always have like a crock pot with turkey and some sweet potatoes going.
Oh, that's smart.
So I make her bars with turkey and sweet potatoes. She defrosts them and gives them to the dog. So it was kind of like we initially made these bars for a hot lunch, and then they turned into being a whole separate great advantage for them.
What a great way. It's smart.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That's part of being an entrepreneur, and that's part about innovation is about seeing what people are doing and how you can kind of integrate what you're doing and then create something new from that. Lisa, you really are, honestly, you are like the quintessential entrepreneur. I mean, it's like you are you are. And I hope that folks are hearing this. And I feel like if I weren't already an entrepreneur, I would be I already am inspired by you. I think everything we've talked about is really cool. And what I know about you, obviously, I've been very impressed with, but like I feel inspired by you. You came into this in such a very natural way, very organic, very, very meaningful. And I think that speaks to people. And I think that also solidifies your success. I mean, you're already successful. And now because of that, it's just mounting for you. You're really incredible. And I'm wishing you the best and best of luck. I just think what you're doing is super special, super cool. If people want to check you out, obviously we've already shared your petchef.com. You've had some nice PR, I've noticed as well, which I think is fantastic. Yes, that's brilliant.
Well, that's, the entrepreneurial journey, build the media kit.
That's right.
So that was one of the things, create content, build the media kit. And I've been I think because I have such a niche and I don't know, I think I have a little bit of a flair for maybe writing some BS. I don't know. I've been able to really get into a lot of things.
Do you? Okay, so by the way, that's also the entrepreneurial secret, that a lot of it is just BS, but it's BS that comes from somewhere really meaningful. Like it's real BS.
Yeah.
It's not true. It's like
it is.
It's like there's ways that we have to communicate things, and what seems obvious to us is not always obvious to others. Right. And in order to really have that materialize, it sometimes does feel like there's a little BS involved, but it's really not. It's about artful language. That's what it is.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. And I feel like we've had great artful language today, talking here on this wonderful, on this amazing, like this show is great, right? I feel like it's like a great show.
Yes.
Where else are people going to like, it is good. And I'm not just saying that because it's mine. No. I think really like this is a good show because where else are people going to hear this kind of inspirational story and and really like have us dive into it and get to know you and hear about some of your challenges. And you've been so vulnerable and so honest and so fun. And I really appreciate it. And I've just had such a great time with you, Lisa. Really great time with you. You're welcome.
I appreciate sharing my story, and it'd be great to inspire someone else. I love that. That's why I love going to events like today. You figure you could give one person a great idea, I'm happy. It makes me happy.
I get it. Mm-hmm. Well, guys, there you go. You heard it right from the pet chef's mouth. It's all about it's all about inspiring other people, regardless of your industry, regardless of your path, regardless of your journey, regardless of the things that you think are in your way. You are always in a position to inspire someone and to be inspired, and that is sounds a little cheesy, but it's really, really true. And I love to be in a position to be able to talk about it with folks like you. So, Lisa, thank you very much for your time today. It's been wonderful.
Thank you.
You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome, of course. You can check out PetLifeRadio.com and go to my page, Pets Mean Business, and you can see some links here that we'll put up for Lisa, and you can check out stuff that we've heard, some stuff, supportive stuff. And if you need me, Jamie at PetLifeRadio.com, Twitter, Pets Mean Business, blah, 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 all that stuff. Just if you need me, find me. I'm here for you. I've really enjoyed the time that I've had with you today. It's really special and meaningful and important to me. You're welcome. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time on Pets Mean Business on Pet Life Radio Network. I'm Jamie Migdal, and I thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.